So I had a question. Did I really need the Mojave to come out here in the desert? What do you think? It is 2021. Welcome back to the channel. It has been a while, and honestly, I think I'm sitting on like 500 gigabytes of footage right now. This video is going to be kind of an amalgam of those, just all mashed together, but the real focus here is what I want to do throughout 2021 and what this channel is going to turn into. And that, my friends, should be exciting. So we're getting into overlanding, and what that means is we're gonna be doing off-roading, traveling, camping, all from the conveniences of my truck. Still gonna be doing camera gear, still gonna be doing reviews on that. We're shooting on the A7S III now. I believe this is gonna be the first video uploading. Now I did use some R5 footage in this video as well, but stick around guys, it's gonna be an awesome year. We are so close to the build being complete. Through this video, I'm gonna overlay some of the different trips I've been on with friends, as well as going out solo, doing some off-roading. We're gonna talk about some gear that you may wanna pick up if you similarly are thinking about getting into overlanding, and something pretty cool just arrived the other day. Pretty awesome backdrop. So still kind of smells like chemicals. We're gonna let it air out here in the garage for a little while, but this will soon be mounted to the truck as soon as I get a rack on there. And so you can imagine then, basically we'll have the rooftop tent mounted right here. The rack's gonna come up, and what's pretty sick is tonneau cover. This guy's actually gonna fit. So they made it brackets, RCI Overland does, that comes up. It will actually extend out so I can keep my tonneau cover on, which lets me secure everything inside and still have the rack and everything else on. So pretty pumped for that. Should be here in a few weeks. Oh, and one actually quick complimentary notice to this is I'm gonna be moving to Boulder in 2 months, and I'm super excited for that. Should be, well, A, I'm ready to get out of this city, but then also just so much wilderness at my fingertips, trails, off-roading, camping, you name it. I'm just ready for that lifestyle. So there should be a lot of fun adventures coming out in 2021 on this channel. Stay tuned. This is about a journey, and I want to give you recommendations if you're starting out either off-roading or thinking about getting into overlanding, which is in my near future, how to go about it. We're gonna start off showing you the things I recently acquired, and then I'll actually dive into some things I already owned, which are gonna complement this. I have some critical things which I think you definitely need. One of these things you probably may never need, but when you do, you definitely want one. Whether it's your car, whether you're out camping and you have a fire, I really like this one specifically, and that's because it's ABC rated. So a lot of car ones or boat ones, vehicle focused, are just gonna be B and C. There's actually a smaller version of this too that's just B and C. That's basically electrical fires, chemical fires, things like that. What you really want, or I at least wanted, was that A rating, which is for wood combustibles, because if I am out camping, something happens, especially here in California, if I go somewhere I can actually have a campfire, I just wanna make sure I have that extra protection. So ABC rating for me. Next up, little cliche, but you can hear how heavy these are, MAXTRAX. Should have recorded more of that. Let me just say, buy your MAXTRAX. I legitimately just got on a trail. It does get out of here to the main road. I can see the road right there. It was a 29, I think I hit 30-degree grade, and I got to a point I basically would have had to go down a boulder and just would have totaled the bottom of my car. Had to go back up that hill, and it's all muddy right now. Terrifying, stressed. I got a little bit of footage on my phone, so I'll throw that in here, but honestly, if I did not have the MAXTRAX, 100% got stuck halfway up that hill. So the reason I actually did go with the brand name MAXTRAX, there's tons of traction boards out there now. I like ARBs as well. There's a few good ones, but there's a lot of knockoffs. These things are solid. I wanna say they weigh around 15 pounds. Like, these are not just sled plastic. These are super durable. You can see stress tests online too. Check out some videos. These things are gonna work. And again, when you get stuck, you don't want these things bending, breaking. These little bits tend to snap off a lot. You may or may not have heard of airing down. It's removing air from your tires. There's really 2 ways to do it, right? So you can basically press the pin on your tire existing. That's gonna be pretty slow. There's also ways to actually remove these pins. So a lot of people will do that. They make cheap kits for, let's say, 25 bucks all the way up to about 150. I was nervous about removing those pins. A lot of people do them, it's very normal, but sometimes those pins can break, you have to replace them. I went from like 40 PSI down to around 22. Took 2 minutes, if that, so real happy with Indeflate so far. This also has some added benefits, so it actually does 2 tires at once, if you want to do curls. This thing, high lift. You may have seen this on a bunch of Jeeps or other off-road vehicles out there. This is kind of the name in the game when it comes to jacks. So this is high lift jack. I went with a 48 inch. This is their off-road one, the Extreme. I guess they're all off-road. Main reason I wanted this, I couldn't afford a winch right now. I want to get a winch. That's like the first thing, if you can't afford one, you should put on your car. However, this will actually act as a winch. You want to hold this? This is basically coming with all your tow straps, your gear, everything to hook onto this to use this as a winch. This carries up to 7,000 pounds of force. As you can move it up and down, either way, it's gonna carry that force. So basically you can hook this to a tree, you hook the other end of your car, and as you're winching, it's gonna lift it up and start to slowly pull the car forward. So kind of, again, an oh shit scenario, but this is 130 bucks. They make cheaper ones, about $100 for the lower models, and then this is 70 bucks. So for 200 bucks, you've got essentially a winch. So you're gonna notice a trend so far, and that's, again, I really focused on recovery gear first. I don't wanna get stuck. I got this for peace of mind. I'm getting started, I like convenience. This has all the preloaded maps. It's also got iOverlander waypoints on here, meaning there's tons of campgrounds. There's a lot of trails preloaded on here. At the end of the day, I don't need cell service, and I know I'm gonna have availability to maps and being able to track where I go. You can do a lot of that, basically all of that, on an iPad, on your phone. The problem is you have to pay for a service, which again is not that expensive. This was $600. Those services, maybe $25 to $50 a year. However, you have to download specific quadrants of offline maps. So it's just added complexity to the overall experience. For me, I can just kind of grab, go. I know where I want to head to, throw the waypoints in here, even use Google Maps to get there, but then this is going to handle everything once I leave that normal paved road. All right, so that brings us to communication. You've really got 3 models when you're off-roading: radio, cell phone, or GPS. Radio, I'm not gonna get a ham radio right now. You gotta take a test. You have to have someone on the other end that can help you. Something I want to eventually get, especially if I start going with more people off-roading, but for right now, it just wasn't in the cards. Cell phone, I really looked at cell boosters. The problem with cell boosters is you're not gonna get signal unless it exists. There's gotta be a tower nearby for that to pick up and enhance. So generally a cell booster is gonna give you a stronger signal when you have one, but it's not gonna create signal out of nowhere. So that gave me my first option, which was GPS communication. It does require a subscription. That varies based on how many messages you wanna send, if you wanna send tracking waypoints, but there's a lot of cool things that this actually packs into it. Now again, I wish it was just built into my Overlander. I don't need both of these. I just want this guy and maybe spend an extra 200 bucks. Terrible interface, up and down arrows to do A, B, C, D. It's gonna take forever, but you can just pair this with your phone and then you get your full keyboard of your phone. This has an app. The other thing this will do, let's say you had an iPad, but it doesn't have the cell/GPS. Little known fact maybe, if you have that cell iPad, you don't need cell service, the GPS will still work on that. However, for me, like I don't even have a cell iPad, this will actually pump the GPS signal into your iPad. So Jeeps and some of those cars anymore are gonna have basically dual batteries. It says it's for the start stop. I don't know in a sense, like if it actually runs out, are you gonna need to fully jump start? I just wanna be ready. This is the GB70 from Knocko Boost. Basically Knocko Boost is name in the game. There are a bunch of other knockoffs you can find. Again, it's one of those things, if this doesn't work right, then you're stuck. If you can't start your car, it's not manual, you can't get that car moving. So we only got a few things left. Next up, ROTOPAX. These you may have seen a lot. Again, a lot of people use these. You can get jerry cans, you can get whatever you want. I just like these because of the convenience. They have these nice modular kind of locking things in here that basically, like with my rack I just got, they're gonna go into my rack. I can lock these on here. They're lightweight because they're plastic, they're reliable. Now some more fun stuff. So electronics, I don't know, maybe I just like electronics. This is the ECOFLOW R600. The add-on module doubles that, so it's this little piece at the bottom here. I was able to get a $50 coupon on both the base itself and the add-on battery, so this whole package was 500 bucks. That's gonna bring it out to 576 watt hours. The main reason I went with the EcoBoost over Jackery and a few of the other options, this thing charges insanely fast. This will charge under 2 hours entirely. Next to last, med kit. Always have a med kit. Honestly, just whatever you think you may not need, you're gonna find in here. So I recommend like an adventure series, something for backpacking. It's gonna have antihistamines. Maybe you get bit by something you don't even know you're allergic to. It's also gonna have bandages for wounds, anything. It's just better to be prepared. The nice thing with your car, again, you can pick the biggest one you want up, or you can get a nice little travel one. I do have a little travel one when I backpack, but this is the one I keep at home, or again, when I'm going car camping. Last thing, you always wanna make sure you have a source of water you can get to. You get stuck, something happens, you run out of water, doesn't matter, just have a means to get clean water. There's two main companies out there. There's KATADYN, I'm probably gonna say this wrong. Real big fan of this company. I've also had MSR. MSR is actually what a lot of Marines and a lot of reliable places do use. I've had one fail in the field the first time I used it. After that, I just kind of refused to buy them again. It's just better built. This thing is super rugged. Don't break the ceramic thing inside. That's not rugged, but once it's inside like this, unless you're cleaning it, there's a very small chance you're actually gonna damage or break anything on here. So super reliable. This lasts an insanely long time. You can back flush it to clean it out. Because this doesn't have the virus filtration like the MSR does, I got a STERIPEN. So this, again, easy to break, not like a bug out type thing, but it is peace of mind. If you do have concern about viruses in your water source, you can use this. So I'm real excited to get into this. Join me along in the journey. Definitely make sure you subscribe and like. If you have any questions, you know where to leave them below. So let's enjoy 2021 together. It's gonna be a lot of fun getting out there overlanding. I'll see you guys next time.